LEGO just revealed the One Piece theme with 5 sets, and this is based off of the Netflix One Piece show, not the anime, not the manga. And as somebody not familiar with this world, I absolutely love these sets and want every single one. The detail with the minifigures and the builds are just like, oh, this is like the best new theme in a while. And also, these release August 1st, 2025, if you are wondering, and pre-orders open up today on LEGO Shop at Home. The most iconic would be this Going Merry pirate ship, and I think they do an excellent job branching between the live action and seemingly the anime. The design of this looks great. It's a fantastic pirate ship, and we don't get detailed pirate ships nowadays from LEGO. It's been quite a while. This set is $140, which, yeah, maybe 10 bucks more than I hoped, but even if you're a price per piece ratio person, that's not bad at all. I mean, there's 1,376 pieces. I'm getting Brickbeard's Bounty vibes, which is my pirate ship that I grew up with from LEGO. The ship's hull looks substantial. The white detailing with the railing and everything is fantastic as well. I love the front of the ship. The only thing I don't like with this ship design would be the use of stickers where you could see them standing out, which is a constant design that they use. Like, they use it a couple times and there's like a bigger variant of it. Why didn't you just print that? Not a big deal though. Love the printing on the ship's sail, which that's fantastic. And again, something I could recognize from the One Piece anime. The sail at the back looks great. There's another flag. Fantastic build. And this has a pretty substantial interior as well. I love this little lounge area, which seems to have like a couch and a kitchen. That's really cool. There's another spot where you could hide some treasure or weapons, and another spot to rest up. There's a neat cannon, which can actually fire. All of this is fantastic. And much like the Harry Potter theme, they have random pictures, this time being printed tiles of wanted posters. That's super cool. And this is one of 2 sets that have all of the Straw Hat Pirates, both of which are expensive sets, and I think they're the only 2 sets to have Sanji as a minifigure as well. Again, I'm not super familiar with this world, so if I mispronounce any names, I'm very sorry. And that's a character who I didn't even notice has a new hairpiece. Like, I thought it was this hairpiece, which we have seen in other sets before, but no, that's a new design if you look close enough. So many new hairpieces in this theme. We'll get to some of them later. And I just love the amount of dual molding on the arms and legs throughout the minifigures in these sets. This is a minifigure theme, and I love that, but it's also a theme that has amazing builds. I'm also very happy at the amount of outfit variants we get throughout the sets, and it seems like even Luffy gets 4 facial expressions using 2 different head prints, and I always like getting different facial expressions from LEGO minifigures. The biggest set is an 18 plus set. If you thought the last set was expensive at $140, this is apparently going to be $330. This is a ship that is actually a restaurant, the Baratie, with 3,402 pieces. And with that amount of pieces, you would hope this would be a fully enclosed build, but no, which on one side I'm a little bit sad about, but dang, if this was fully enclosed, it'd probably be like $200 more. Still, it is kind of weird when you have that complete ship with the Going Merry, and this has an open back. But like the other buildings of this theme have an open back, so I guess there's a little bit of a gray area there. Regardless, this is the set I probably want the most because I love restaurants in LEGO form, and I think they do an excellent job here. I still think the Going Merry is better for its completeness, but I love the little dining areas that they have at the bottom there. The details on the wall, like this kraken seemingly, the different levels that they have with like a place to lounge at the very top. This is awesome. I also love how they build that fish mouth at the front there, which is kind of crazy. There's a side build of a small ship too. This has loads of exclusive minifigures, which include Admiral Garp, Helmeppo, and Dracul Mihawk. I love this guy's recolor of the Zane here in like a yellow color for the first time. It's an interesting shade of yellow, and I love this new beard piece. That is insane. This sword is also insane as well. And the more I look at this, is this a new bandana piece? Because that looks really cool and it's shaping. And then there's one character I really want, which is Coby. This is the only set with Coby, but this is a character who's played by a trans actor. The actor is Morgan Davies, and he was in the Evil Dead Rise movie, which I quite liked. Love the pink hair recolor for that existing hairpiece, that's excellent. The set also has these really cool sailor outfits, some of them saying cadet on there. That's an excellent print that could be used outside of this context. Regardless, this design I think is worth the price. As I said, I still wish it wasn't an open back, but I get that maybe making a $500 set for a new theme is a very risky move. I like this small raft of a ship side build. I also like the spinning play feature. There's extra minifigures which have a really cool new recolor of that ponytail hair piece and the mermaid piece once again as the statues right here. Another great detail, so you could add 2 minifigures to the count. Though dang, do I wish details like this sign weren't printed. Yeah, this is a beautiful set. And don't think that this is a theme that is only good with its large sets, because the smaller sets rock. I love this circus tent right here. A design with a $55 price tag, but hey, that's good for a price per piece ratio at 573 pieces. And I think of other licensed $55 sets where we have that Spider-Verse set and that Spider-Man's apartment set. And this is a much better value than both of those, where you get 4 great minifigures and a more substantial build. It doesn't feel overpriced. The design of the minifigures include 3 of the Straw Hat Pirates, which actually, let me take this time to shout out 2 new hair pieces. Luffy actually has a new hair piece, which that's really cool. That could have fit my hair maybe a couple years ago. Love the curls there. And Nami has a new hair piece as well, which is awesome. There's so many times I've seen people try to make like anime characters, and this is a hair piece that could fit a lot of characters from anime. So that's super cool. This is a set that has an exclusive Buggy the Clown, which uses a really cool hair hat combo that's also new, and I love the little strands of hair at the side there. I don't know if those are like accessory whole hairs or just part of that whole piece. But there's also a variant of Buggy the Clown, it seems like, which is a smaller version. That one has this bandana at the top and unfortunately uses a sticker for that torso at the front, seemingly. I also like the use of that one minifigure hand piece that I think I've seen in like Lego Mario, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, all that's super cool. I like the 2 variants of that character. This design is something we don't see from LEGO, unfortunately, which is a circus tent. We do have a facade design there where the exterior isn't the most substantial, but like I get it. It's not the most expensive set. 2 wanted posters in here. And then the interior has a little bit of a design with this cage right here. There's one of those circus throwing knife setups. That's fun, and that seems to have like a spinning play feature, which is cool. I also like how they have an audience section with 8 seats. That's actually surprisingly a large amount for a set like this. Only thing is that there's a ton of stickers. You can see this really cool clown face right here. Unfortunately has like 3 stickers, or sorry, there's 3 on the face, but then I'm just noticing there's a 4th on the hat right there. So that makes me kind of sad. Also with the flag at the top. Wish there's more prints here, but the minifigures have such great prints and pieces. It's not a big deal. There's also what I call the containment breakout play feature, which we've seen for other sets before. It's kind of weird that it's in this set, but again, I don't know the proper context of this. Oh wait, I think that's a dunk tank. Also note how this set has that new pear piece from Animal Crossing. One thing I'm noticing that's very interesting with the Zoro minifigure, this green hair guy, great hair color for that as well. I love this piece of this katana right here that you can put seemingly on a minifigure's neck to make it look like they're holding the katana in the mouth. That is awesome, and it seems like it comes in a couple other sets, including those 2 bigger sets that we covered. And then there's the Battle at Arlong Park, which is actually the 3rd most expensive set at $80 in the United States. Not bad for price per piece ratio, people, where that's 926 pieces. This set has the exclusive characters for Arlong, who is this very interesting character with this nose right here. Like, again, we don't really see that from a Lego minifigure. They tried to avoid noses. This hair hat combo rocks, which is seemingly exclusive just for this set. I love that. There's also Chew, who has this interesting blue skin. There's even like some side arm printing. That character looks great. Are they just drinking up over there? But let me highlight Usopp, because I highlighted some of the other crew, and Usopp is a really cool looking character where I did not recognize them as this live action adaptation because they look different from the show, and I recognized that character. The design of this character has such a cool bandana hat combo, which seemingly in this set is exclusive in that green bandana, or I guess it could also be like a beanie. In the other sets, which are the 2 largest sets, he's wearing a red beanie / bandana. That's so cool, and I also like the design of the torso that's exclusive to this set. That's just something you could put on a minifigure casually wearing. I also like getting the slingshot piece in green, which I haven't seen it in that color before. And surprisingly, this is the only set with stretchy arm Luffy. I love seeing those return. You know, they used it with Miss Marvel, they used it with Elastigirl. Surprisingly, they didn't use it with Mr. Fantastic, but that set sucks anyways. I mean, compare that set to any of these sets, and these sets blow that set out of the water. I also love the casual new torso that's seemingly exclusive to this set for Nami. And this printing on her arm is very dark because that was like a self-harm scene from one of the episodes. Which, I mean, there's also a self-harm scar from Luffy on his face right there. So interesting how dark this series could be for it to get Lego sets. I mean, one character even drops the F-bomb. There's scenes where characters are split in half and guts are spilling out. Though apparently it's rated TV-14, which is PG-13. Funny to see for 8+ sets. Seemingly, her face print is exclusive to this set with the teardrop as well as a smiling showing teeth facial expression. So that's kind of cool to just get that randomly in this set. Regardless, the build for Arlong Park is kind of like a little carnival or theme park, I think, from the anime. This design looks great with this building right here, which is a type of architecture we don't see. I incorrectly said it was like a Japanese castle in one of the leak videos. Okay, it's not exactly that, but yeah, I love the specific building that this is going for, but I'm not going to name it just so I'm not wrong. And this has a play feature where you could destroy the building, but the problem with facades kind of comes into play here because dang is the interior of this not as substantial as I hoped. You still get stuff like what's seemingly a stickered wall right there. You know, I would prefer that's a print, but it's not a big deal. And notice how even those base wall pieces are attached to the base there, so those don't exactly fly off, but they will collapse. The rest of it will seemingly fly off. I love the carnival games right here with this shooting gallery. That's awesome. More stickers, but that's a fun little game to play. And that's something that you could just put in a Lego City Carnival. And there's even a shark attack game right there. I almost thought this was a dunk tank, but that doesn't seem to be what's going on there. I also like the appearance of the snail piece that's coming in the Animal Crossing sets. And seemingly there's a print on top of the snail for that shell right there. So yeah, this is super cool, and I think it's worth the value. Then finally, the last of the minifigure sets is the Windmill Village Hut. This is something that was originally called Party's Bar, and you still get Party's Bar in this set, thankfully. But maybe I'm not as excited about this as an introduction into Lego because it's seeming less and less that we'll get a Moe's Tavern, but I'm still holding hope that, okay, we got a bar set in One Piece, we'll get a Moe's Tavern. Regardless, this design for this little hut is beautiful. It's something we don't see much from Lego. There's a sticker in the front with that little wood design. There's also one with the Party's logo. There's also a heavily stickered surfboard right there. Again, I wish those were all prints, but whatever. And then you get 2 exclusive characters with Shanks, who has a recolor of Luffy's hair hat combo. Yeah, one thing I didn't point out in this video is that Luffy has the hair piece and then he has the hair hat combo. And this is dispersed across several of the sets, and it seems like some sets even have both. So that's really cool. I love seeing that with a red variant. So that's like 2 new pieces, but then if you notice, there's a third version where it's just the hat and no hair, which I only seen in this specific set, but I might be wrong there. That is crazy. 3 new pieces for 1 idea. Oh wait, it seems like there's a third facial expression for Luffy. In this set, you can see there's like a teary eye one, so that's really cool. And then also this character right here, Makino, has like an interesting recolor of that ponytail piece, which I haven't seen it in that green coloring before, so that's really cool. Great new casual torso prints on these figures as well. So it's cool that this has like 2 exclusive characters and then an exclusive younger version of Luffy, who has the Gum Gum Fruit, which is seemingly a new piece altogether that's only found in this set. That's really impressive. This set is a solid $30, which, okay, the build maybe looks a little bit more like $25, but in this Lego economy, that's good. Price for piece ratio people will be happy to see that has 299 pieces for $30. So yeah, those are all amazing, and I want every single one of those. My favorite is still the pirate ship and the restaurant, but I still think the playset builds are awesome as well. It's cool to see such a detailed theme that could appeal outside of the demographic of fans of the show. Like, I love when they do that with stuff like Lone Ranger, where it's a property I wasn't super into, but they just had super detailed sets for a genre that we don't really get from LEGO nowadays. This is one of the most detailed pirate themes we've gotten yet. And then this touches beyond the pirate world with stuff like carnivals and different Japanese architecture. So yeah, I'm super happy with how these turned out. There's also 2 BrickHeadz, which are both $10. You have one for Luffy, cool BrickHeadz build, but BrickHeadz aren't really my thing anymore. And then you have one for that Buggy clown. Cool BrickHeadz clown, but BrickHeadz aren't my thing anymore. Sorry, I don't have too much else to say with those 2. Apparently, there's going to be a Gum Fruit make and take at LEGO stores early August. They're saying, I think, the 3rd to the 9th of August in America, but that might be incorrect. And apparently, they'll also be adding one-piece prints to the minifigure factory, which, okay, they're doing that more and more, and that's pretty cool. These prints will be as early to access as today on Minifigure Factory Online. So yeah, I am super hyped for this theme, even as an outsider to this franchise, but I will be finishing the show before these sets come out. That's my plan, so I can give some insight by the time the sets come out. I've heard that this is actually one of the few live action adaptations that rocks, and apparently it's something based more on the manga than, say, the original anime. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I overpraising this theme, or is this worth the hype? Which sets are you going to get out of all of these? Seriously, leaving a comment, subscribing to this channel, and liking this video helps a lot with the algorithm, which could be a little bit rough here and there. Thank you for watching and supporting, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.